What's going on, you everybody? It's your boy Kamen Spike. Well, Kamen Zero Spike. Back again once again. And today, people, today we're here for Kamen Revice episode 33. And this episode was awesome. Everybody was dealing with something in this episode. The bad guys are getting more powerful, and the bad guys are, yeah. And we get kind of the true, kind of like we get the reveal that Akashi is like immortal. He actually says this, but yeah. So we obviously start off from where last episode started off with, Aguilera wanting Sakura to take her out, and throughout the episode, she does actually agree to end up taking it, taking her out. She does talk to her during the, she goes to talk to her in the aquarium, and things like that. And also, when she talks to her there, she basically says that, hey, before we do all that, before I end up taking you out, before I do all this stuff, let's go have some fun. Let's go actually go out and do stuff together. So the girls actually go off. Sakura actually forces Aguilera to go to an amusement park with her, things like that. And we actually see, we also did see that Tamaki, as usual, does go and try to talk to Aguilera, but he comes back with a big slap on his face. So you know how that went down. So we also see that Iki is also he's there, but he's dealing with the same. He's basically just there to back Sakura up. But also we saw that Daiji is trying to, still trying to find Akami. He's still trying to find Akami, things like that. So he tells George that, hey, I'm just gonna go to the director's office and talk to him directly. So we see that Daiji does end up. We see that Daiji, he's the one that goes to the most pain in this episode. We see blood from him, and it's not a good sight to see. But I was like, man, just Henshin and transform and fight this dude. No matter what Daiji did, we see that Akashi got powers. Akashi can do a lot. I guess he has all these different kind of powers. He was we even saw when Daiji punched him in the face. We see that he can he hardened his skin to be metal, so it will break Daichi's hand. Akashi is gonna be a real Akashi. He's a problem, but he's gonna be a real problem when we end up actually fighting him when the whole truth comes out. And we're really getting close to that conclusion, showing that seeing as I don't know what he's gonna do to Daiji. I don't know if he's gonna, from next episode's preview, we see that Daiji's okay, but I'm pretty sure that eventually he's gonna have to tell everybody about Akashi and what Akashi's actually doing. But we do see that Akami does try to escape. She did try to escape at first before Daiji ended up getting there. And we actually see that she does break out of her little twist tie binds. She actually grabs a gun as she shoots Akashi. She shoots him in his hand, the one with the eye on it, and she ends up shooting him in the head. And his body just regenerates and just pushes the bullets out. And so we see that he does say that he was chosen by gift. He was chosen by gift and also given immortality. So we see that like I said before, Akashi is going to be a really big problem later on down the line. Well, he's a problem, but it's going to be worse. We do see that Vail ends up coming in. Vail's there, and we see that Akashi ends up using the cloned Vice stamps that he had that has all the powers of, basically he has clones of all the Vice stamps that Iki already has. And except Thunder Gale and Braid and all those super big forms. But we do see that he ends up using the Megalodon Vice Stamp and the Kong Vice Stamp, and he actually uses them and powers up Vail and basically gives Vail a physical body. You see that Vail was kind of a little ghost thing going around, he was a little spirit, but how Vice is, but a little bit more scarier because it's all red and sparkly and whatever. And I know that red and sparkly sounds good, sounds kind of cool, but not in this instance. I would not like to see this guy flying around. So he ends up giving him a physical body, and he looks just like Vice. Just make Vice red. That's all he really is. Make Vice red and take his mask off. And basically, Vail is what Vail's face is what Vice's face looks like when Vice's mask is off. So yeah, it's just straight up teeth. It's just straight up disgusting looking teeth. So he uses those two Vice stamps to end up powering him up, and that's when Vail leaves to go find Ginta. He's looking for Ginta. So we end up going back to the amusement park, and the guys are there keeping an eye on the girls and things like that. We see Aguilera doing all sorts. Aguilera and Sakura basically doing all sorts of things together, riding rides, eating snacks, stuff like that, riding bumper cars and stuff. You know, they're doing all that. So we end up seeing that Vail just shows up. He just shows up there. He's like, he looks at Iki and he's like, "Hey, where your dad at? Yeah, where your dad at?" And like Iki's like, "I'm not telling you who my dad is," and stuff like that. He's like, "Okay, I'll just beat you up and then I'll go ask your sister." And he's like, "Oh, nah, you ain't doing that, playboy." So we have to get a fight between Iki, Vice, and Vail, and we see the return of a few forms. We see the return of Megalodon. We see the return of Kong. We see the Kong form, the Megalodon form, and the Eagle form, and also the lion, and also the lion form. Not trying to make sure I don't forget any forms here, but yeah, we see that all those forms coming back, and we see that Vail is able to use the powers of the Vice stamps that they have. So Iki just says, "Screw it, I'm gonna turn into Thunder Gale." Turns into Thunder Gale and ends up actually fighting Vail, and basically has the upper hand. I mean, right now, Thunder Gale is the ultimate form. So right now it's like that's the strongest form. It's the ultimate form. So it makes sense that they're able to get a pretty good licks in on Vail. Vail doesn't seem like that powerful. He's powerful, yes, but he doesn't seem like he's overwhelmingly powerful. Like, if you fight him long enough, like, eventually you can beat him. But Vail just seems like he could take hits. He could take really deep hits. Because we would see Iki use his ultimate attack on Vail, and Vail, like, kind of just, like, shrugs it off. So Vail's also a really, really big problem that we're going to have to deal with. And he's still, he's like, "Where your dad at?" He's still looking for Ginta. So we gotta let everybody know. So end up beating Vail. Vail ends up leaving, stuff like that. He's like, "I'm gonna destroy." Vail's on this big mission to just destroy the entire Igarashi family, and that's his thing, But I also wonder if Vail is Ginta's demon, does that mean if Vail dies or Ginta dies, do both of them die? Because if Vice dies, Iki dies. If Iki dies, Vice dies. Same thing with Love-kun and Sakura. So I'm wondering if they ever did we know that they can't get cut off from their demon, but I wonder if if Vail dies, does Ginta die, and then vice versa, because that's Vail is his demon. So I wonder, will that happen? You guys let me know what you think about that down in the comment section below, because I do feel like if Vail, if they beat Vail, then Ginta will die. But other than that, we end up seeing Aguilera, and Aguilera and Sakura basically still having their talk. We see that Haruku, we see that Haruku, he comes back and he ends up giving back Sakura her driver now that it's been fixed. So, but another funny scene that we actually did see was that Love-kun was ignoring Sakura. She was ignoring her, things like that. We know that Love-kun is like the embodiment of Sakura's feelings. So we all know that Vice can go inside of people's heads and things like that. So he ends up going into Sakura's head, and he finds Love-kun sitting in this little super cute little room in there by herself. And in that room, he's trying to get her to come out, and she has his super big headphones on her head, and she's listening to that deep heavy metal. Like we're talking death metal type of stuff right here. We're talking about Lamb of God in this. And she starts talking normally. Like, she's not the little baby anymore. Like, she starts talking normally to Vice, and she kicks Vice out and calls him trash. I was like, dang, this little snake got some attitude. But yeah, even Vice even noticed that she was like talking normally, which was very very weird to me. It was so freaking weird, but at the same time it was super cute. But we saw like this little snake demon has a big attitude. And she also while she tells Vice that she's like, I'm not coming out because Sakura is no good right now. And no, Vice goes back and he tells that the Sakura, and then we get the whole thing of Sakura going to talk to Aguilera, having fun with her, things like that. So after we see Vail, and we see Iki ends up leaving with Vail. We see that Daiji has gotten extremely hurt. We see he's been burned and his hands broken, stuff like that between Akashi, and we'll also see that Sakura ends up having her final battle with Aguilera, and we see that George shows up and he gives Sakura a new Vice stamp, which is it was a bird Vice stamp. It was Harabishi. It was Hashabishiko, or something like that. And it gives her a brand new weapon. Basically, gives Love Queen a brand new weapon form, and she's a scythe, and it's actually pretty freaking cool. She uses this scythe, and actually separates Aguilera from her demon. So now Queen Bee is gone. The hive has been destroyed, and we see that she has basically taken Aguilera's demon away, and now we see that Aguilera's like, I don't know anything. What am I supposed to do now? Stuff like that. And that's when Sakura consoles her and tells her like, hey, I'm right here for you. So we get to see a little flashback of why George even showed up there, and how she was able to separate her from her demon. So we see that Sakura did end up calling Daddy Katsuragi, and she asks him to basically work with George. And we see that George is coming to the weekend, and his dad asks him stuff like, I don't have the technology to fix her driver, but and also by her special request, I would like for you to help us create a Vice stamp to separate Aguilera from her demon. So that's where George came in. There was a flashback where George came. That's where George comes in, and that's why he has this new Vice stamp. But yeah, we see that she separates her from her demon, and she ends up joining the weekend. So now Aguilera is full human again, and she ends up joining the weekend with Sakura. So yeah, best friend thing going on. So we also we end up seeing, after she's consoling Aguilera, we see that Iki is there. He's way in the distance, but he sees that everything is okay with Sakura. So she end up helping her new best friend. But yeah, and Iki doesn't tell anybody about Vail, and also Daiji hasn't come back. We haven't seen Daiji the whole episode. Well, they haven't seen Daiji the whole episode. So yeah, episode basically ends off right there with the two girls in the bath, which is weird. But yeah, this is a good episode, man. This is a good episode basically for everyone, mostly Sakura though. So you see that Sakura ends up getting a whole new weapon, an upgrade, things like that. Not a whole new form, but a whole new upgrade thing. I would like to see Sakura get a new form. But it seems like they're just keeping her at her base form with just weapon accessories, things like that. But and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I think this scythe is not my new favorite weapon of hers. She has the cannon and she has the fans, but I think this scythe is because I feel like she needed some kind of blade. I feel like Sakura needed some kind of blade weapon or something like that. But we see that now she does got a cool scythe, man, and now she can do what Iki does. Now she doesn't have to ask Iki to take out, she doesn't have to ask Iki anymore to take out to separate humans from their demons. Now she can full on just do it herself using this scythe. But overall, this is a great episode, man. I like the inclusion of we finally resolved the Aguilera dead men story. So now that the three main dead men are basically gone. Oteka's dead, but we see that her Tamaki and Aguilera have basically been rehabilitated, basically. But now I see that now the last enemy now, it will be Akashi. Well, the next enemy basically is Akashi and Vail. And we did see Gif in this episode as well. We saw him actually do something. He's actually, he used the power and stuff like that basically use the power and stuff like that with Akashi. We see that when Daiji went to go save Akami, she was like sedated. It was like she couldn't move or anything like that. She was just sitting there on the floor with her like a dead, like expressionless, like kind of zombie kind of face. And we do see that Akashi still has her like basically under his control. He still kidnapped her, things like that. So yeah, Daiji's got a lot on his plate right now. But other than that, guys, this was a good episode, man. It was a good episode. I liked the pacing in this episode as well. It was everywhere, but everything kind of made sense in the end. Well, basically made sense in the end. And it was, the introduction to a new weapon, new Vice stamp, just stuff like that. Like the pacing was all right. It wasn't super fast. It wasn't super slow. It was like right there in the middle. I'm wondering, like, since Aguilar is human again, I'm hoping that the Weekend doesn't like conspire against her, anything that betray her, anything like that, because she's human again. Yeah, you ain't gotta worry about her doing any demon things. She ain't on demon time right now. But other than that, guys, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about episode 33. You let me know what you think is next for Sakura, and also what you guys think that Vail's is gonna be freaking up to, because Vail's still looking for Ginta. So that's the thing. But other than that, guys, you guys let me know, and I'll see you guys next time. Remember, stay henshin. Also, like, share, subscribe, man. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, man. We out here. And also, I appreciate all my new subscribers. Hey, how you doing? I'm Kamen Zero Spike, and I hope you guys stick around. But I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, and remember, stay henshined.